This is Donald Trump this morning.
I don't think. I don't think so, but I'm not happy that Israel's going out now. There was one rocket that I guess was fired overboard. It was after the time limit, and it missed its target. And now Israel's going out. These guys got to calm down. Ridiculous.
Now, the reason why I think this is important, guys, is because you can clearly see the actual frustration in him, right? It's obvious he didn't sleep. He's probably pissed off and irritated. You know, and then this shit happened. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm going to explain why he's frustrated for you guys here in a little bit.
I didn't like plenty of things I saw yesterday. I didn't like the fact that Israel unloaded right after we made the deal. They didn't have to unload. And I didn't like...
Oh, yeah. You're starting to realize that you can't trust the Israelis. Okay, Donnie. I'm telling you, bro. Like, you can't trust these fucking guys, man.
Like the fact that the retaliation was very strong. But in all fairness, Israel unloaded a lot. And now I hear Israel just went out because they felt it was violated by one rocket that didn't land anywhere. That's not what we want, I'll tell you. And I'm telling you, I'm not happy about that, Israel, either. All I do is play both sides. I'm going now, as you know, to NATO. Some of you are going with me, and I think it's going to be successful. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it, too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before.
See, and here's the thing you guys got to understand, right? This is why, like, you can see even Trump is starting to get annoyed with these niggas. I've been telling you guys, like, we give Israel so much goddamn aid, guys. We gave them $12 billion, okay? Just in the this past year, since Trump's taken office. They should be listening to everything we fucking say. But they don't. That's the problem. They fucking don't. All right?
The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either.
Yes, because what he's speaking about, guys, is when the ceasefire was announced, this is why Netanyahu was reluctant to really say anything. They said, okay, we're going to go ahead and finish up our bombing campaign and try to blow up as much shit as we can.
But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand?
Ah, man.
And that.
See how fucking annoyed he is, bro? Yo.
The president does not know. The president of the United States does not know if this ceasefire is still in effect. That's where we are this morning. He thinks both sides have violated it. And you heard him at the end there, just words of really, I think, frustration with both Israel and Iran with what's taken place since the president announced this deal.
Saying they don't know.
Yeah, we don't give aid to Iran. They are not beholden to us, you know, to be honest. We don't give them aid. We sanction them actually and have made them very poor. So for people to not understand that this is a serious issue because we give these guys so much goddamn money, so much aid, so much cover. Like, guys, bro, we give them the money to run and operate their military. We give them the weapons to run their military. We give them the capability to defend themselves with their missile defense systems. They have three main ones, and we gave them a fourth one with the THAAD, right? They got the Iron Dome, the Arrow, David Sling, as well as the THAAD that we gave them, okay? The battery alone is $1 billion, okay? So we give them a bunch of aid. Then on top of that, okay, we cover for them at the UN. When they try to go ahead and, you know, say, you know what, these settlements in the West Bank are illegal, we veto every time. whenever they try to get a two-state solution set up for Palestine, we veto that every time. So we cover for them diplomatically as well, right? Also, our defense, our unequivocal support of Israel has emboldened them to conduct the reckless foreign policy that they've conducted over the past 40 years, where they don't really deal with accountability for any of their moves, okay? Now, if you're a small country, right, surrounded by people that don't want you there, but you got the biggest bully on the block having your back, so you could go ahead and, like, you know, say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And if any of those bullies try to retaliate, your, you know, big bully is going to come in and punch them in the face and knock them out. People are going to think twice before they retaliate to you. So what this has done is it's let Israel enjoy a certain level of immortality in the region. Okay? And this has been going on for decades. Don't let anybody fucking fool you. Okay, guys? I want to be extremely crispy fucking clear about this. If it were not for the United States, Israel would be taken over. Literally inside of a week. Okay? They cannot defend themselves. They can't get the job done by themselves. Okay? They rely heavily upon American and NATO support to a lesser degree to help them defend.
What they're doing and saying these guys have got to calm down. It's ridiculous. We're going to be replaying that quite a lot today and waiting for more reaction now from the region. Let's bring in our team coverage on this. We have CNN's Elena Treen live for us from the White House. Jeremy Diamond standing by in Israel. Fred Pleitgen also in Tehran for us this morning. Elena, first to you. This is some very important perspective coming from President Trump this morning.
That's exactly right. And I was just outside on the South Lawn with the president as he was speaking with us this morning before he departed on Marine One. Look, he is very, very frustrated and essentially downright angry. I have to argue. I mean, I've spent a lot of time with President Donald Trump. This is one of the most visibly angry times I have seen him. And it's clear that he's angry with both countries, both Israel and Iran. We asked him, does he believe the ceasefire is going to hold after we saw kind of these sharp, the missile potentially fired from Iran, but then also the sharp language from the Israel foreign minister saying that he wants to retaliate with full force. The president said he does believe and he hopes that it will hold, but then he said as soon as he finished talking with us, he was going to make some calls and try to stop it. That was a direct quote. He said, I'm going to try to stop it as soon as I finish speaking with you all. But what he seemed to be very angry with as well is really Israel. I mean, he often tries to use, you know, much more positive, optimistic language.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. His donors.
Language when it comes to Israel, recognizing that they are one of the United States' strongest allies. But it is clear that he is very unhappy with.
Translation, we are one of their strongest allies. They don't do shit for us.
How they have been acting in light of the news of this ceasefire. He said that perhaps Iran fired a stray missile, that maybe it didn't land, and he doesn't like that Israel was saying that they plan to retaliate with full force. And then he does something.
Israel is the only country that you know, defies the United States multiple times. Guys, make no mistake about it, bro. Benjamin Netanyahu came to the United States, guys, okay, and gave a speech in front of our Congress going after the nuclear program, and he got a standing ovation after. He defied President Obama. People forget that shit. Bro, come on, man. No other country can get away with this, bro. Look at this. So, and I want to show you guys this interview real quick. This is prior. This is the most boring. This is the most boring man in the world, by the way, Lex Friedman. Anytime I want to go to sleep, I put this nigga show on. But this is very interesting with the Abraham Accords. I want you guys to listen and get a idea of who this guy, Benjamin Netanyahu, is, all right? So this is before October 7th, by the way, when this interview was done. Very important, okay? So he didn't have the war propaganda, you know, that he has right now when he talks.
Again, you know, I mean, we had, you know, we had decades, 70 years.
So he's talking about the Abraham Accords, how they came into play, right? Let me.
I mean, you can posit that it would be good if that could happen, but entering the room is sometimes more complicated than what happens in the room, and there's a lot of, pre-negotiation on the negotiation. Then you negotiate endlessly on the negotiation. They're not even there.
It took a lot of work for you to get a handshake in the past.
It's an interesting question. How did the peace, the Abraham Accords, how did that begin?
Now, for those of you that don't know, the Abraham Accords are basically a bunch of Gulf state countries, Arab Muslim countries, recognize Israel as a state, okay? And have started to become exercise diplomacy. Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, I think Sudan later joined. A bunch of different countries basically joined, okay? There's a few others. And this was brokered by Donald Trump in 2020, okay? And a lot of people don't talk about this. The Abraham Accords actually was a big reason why October 7th happened, chat. A big reason. So, okay, obviously Bahrain, Israel, UAE, like I said, Morocco, and Sudan. Okay, I missed Morocco. All right. So, obviously, you got let's see here. Yeah, the UAE and Bahrain became the first Arab countries to formally recognize Israel since 1994. And I remember this because when I went to Dubai like 2 years ago, a couple of the Uber drivers and the taxi guys complained that they started to see them boys in their country now because they had started to formally recognize each other. So Israelis can go to United Arab Emirates. Guys, Israelis can't go to a lot of countries in the Arab world, okay? So the Abraham Accords kind of assisted with that. So this was kind of the beginning of what led to October 7th, okay? And the reason for that is because the Abraham Accords, okay, basically, if all these Gulf countries got into the Abraham Accords and recognized Israel, Israel would get what it wants without solving the Palestine question, okay? And that's very important. The Palestine question has been a question that's been out in the international community for literally almost damn near 100 years now. So if all these Arab countries started to recognize Israel, that was the only wiggle room and leverage that the Palestinians had, right? Their alliance with these other Arab countries to kind of have some kind of leverage to say, yo, you guys need to give us you guys need to give us a state or else our Arab counterparts aren't going to recognize you. So when these countries started saying, you know what, we'll start recognizing Israel without solving the Palestine question, that is what prompted Hamas to conduct the attack that they conducted on October 7th, okay? Because a lot of people don't know this. Right before October 7th, in a matter of weeks, Saudi Arabia was getting ready to join the Abraham Accords. And that would have been destructive for Palestinian sovereignty. Because if Saudi Arabia joins the Abraham Accords, it's over. It's over. Because it's the most influential Muslim Arab country in the Middle East by far because of the religious relevance of Medina, Mecca, etc. So if Saudi Arabia joined without answering the question when it comes to the Palestinian question, it would have been a problem. Okay? Give me ones if that makes sense, chat. I know sometimes I, go a bit too deep in the weeds or whatever, but I do understand that a lot of you guys might be hearing some of this stuff I'm telling you for the first time. Unless you're like, intimately involved with Middle Eastern foreign policy, but most people are not. So,
we had decades.
Some idiot in the chat says, stop lying. Saudi Arabia was never doing it. Bro. Yeah, they're not doing it now because of what's going on in Gaza. They were absolutely going to join the Abraham Accords. Bro, it's funny.
70 years or 65 years.
All right, so he's talking about how the Abraham Accords came into play. Check this out.
Where these people, would not meet openly or even secretly with an Israeli leader. Yeah.
Someone in the chat said Saudi Arabia had the condition that Palestine would be a state. Though no, bro. You got okay. Let me be very clear, right? You guys got to understand this. The Saudis do what's best for the Saudis. You understand? They play whichever hand benefits them the most. If it means aligning with the United States for protection, they'll do that. If it means meeting with BRICS and potentially being involved in that, they'll do that. If it means dealing with the Israelis but doing it behind the scenes so the Arab world doesn't know, they'll do that. Okay? Saudi Arabian intelligence and the Mossad are notorious for working with each other. Okay? Like, they just don't do it outwardly for obvious reasons. And the fact that this guy is trying to be in the chat and say, oh, that's not true. Bro, the Gulf states are totally cucked by Israel. They totally are. Okay? If you don't know that, then you're just like, it's like Turkey. Turkey's the same way. Another perfect example. Erdogan, all he does is yap. I condemn Netanyahu, but he gives them a significant amount of their oil. Free Palestine. Supports Israel behind the scenes. Bro, a lot of these Arab leaders are cucks, if I'm going to be all the way 1,000 with y'all. Okay? All my guys in here that are Arabs or live in the Middle East, you guys know what I'm saying is true. Someone in the chat, please confirm what I'm saying. We don't, like, the Arab world knows this, right? Americans are keenly unaware of these intimate dynamics behind the scenes. The Gulf states, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, etc., all these countries have diplomatic relations with Israel, whether it's out there or not. You just don't know about it because it's so, how do I say this? It has such a bad stigma. So they do things behind the scenes.
We had the Mossad making contacts with them all the time and so on, but...
There you go. He said it himself, chat!
Welcome, punch!
We had the Mossad making contacts with them. I mean, why is that important? Because just so you guys know, okay, another little secret for you guys. You know who the Mossad directly answers to? The Prime Minister only. Okay? The Mossad, aka the Israeli CIA, they only report to the Prime Minister directly. That means there's no chain of command they have to go through. That means they deal directly with Netanyahu, and that's it. So he could go ahead and authorize certain contacts, operations, and things that might be off the books. Okay? Why do you think the Mossad is so good? Very little bureaucracy. They just deal with Netanyahu. That's it.